What's up? This is Sam from Sword Style Guitar. I actually made 2 different videos, and on 2 different occasions I was stopped from filming. The first one, I was actually stopped by a police officer who wanted to see if I had seen an accident take place or somebody get hit by a car or something. And then after that, I was actually making a video with discussion about one of my friends, and he actually returned my call in the middle of the video, and it stopped the video. So with that said, I'm going to get back on the topic. Topic is, what is the topic, Sam? The topic is losing your attachment. Losing your attachment, losing your ego, getting rid of your material possessions, getting rid of your situations in order to become uncomfortable to grow. The key operative phrase there is being operative to grow. In order to grow as a person, as a man, one of the most important things that you could do for yourself is become highly uncomfortable. If you become uncomfortable, you're going to grow and you're going to adapt to your new situation and you're going to learn. So, with that said, if you find yourself becoming too comfortable, there's a saying that goes something like this. If you're green, you're growing, and if you're ripe, you're rotting. Okay? So what that means is, whenever you find yourself becoming too comfortable in a situation, throw it all away. Pablo Picasso used to have, if he found himself not painting or not creating, I believe it was Picasso who would sell off all his furniture and, live with nothing but basic necessities until he painted and he made more money. And I think a really great example of somebody like this was my buddy, one of my best friends in high school, and to this day we're still really good friends. This guy, Ben Bennett. Yeah, he's a really good example of that because he had a ton of obstacles. He picked up the instrument last out of all of us, and he picked up bass. I believe it was junior year in high school, or maybe sophomore year. I can't remember exactly, but he wound up. Let me give you a little background on the guy. So he is a huge metal guy, huge rock guy. We used to have a band together called Vaz, named after the vas deferens part of the male genitalia, and also because it sounds pretty 80s rock. He also had a band named Monica with my brother actually in high school, and one of my other good friends, Luke Gould of The Relative Souls. Shout out, bro. With all that said, this guy picked up the instrument last. And he would walk around telling everybody that he was going to be a rock star. He was going to tour the world, and he was going to be the boom dynamite. Well, what happened was this guy actually wound up doing just that in 18 months. And everybody doubted him, myself included. I was like, how are you going to become a rock star, bro? That's a little lofty. I was a kid. What did I know? I didn't know about any of this self-actualization stuff. So he wound up doing just that, man. In 18 months. I just confirmed that with him on the phone because I didn't want to put words in his mouth. And he told me, 18 months. He wound up getting together with guys in his new high school in Santa Barbara called Warbringer, who is a pretty well-known punk. I don't know the exact genre, but they're a really well-known band, and he wound up playing bass for them on the road, being on, I believe, 2 albums, and I believe he toured the world with those guys. Like, when he would come to New York, I would go and meet up with him and hang out with those guys, whatever, it was cool, and, the point is, they were really playing the shows, so, I always... I used to hang out with him quite a bit, and so I feel like I had a good handle on, like, sort of what made him tick. Well, Ben was the type of guy, he didn't give a damn. He really didn't give a damn. He had a goal, and he didn't care. and he did whatever he had to do to achieve his goal. That meant he spent hours in his room playing to Iron Maiden, I remember, and different bands and stuff. He literally spent hours just playing and learning, even though he was behind, whatever. And that dedication brought him a long way. And then he moved, and I actually remember before he moved, he did a total transformation of his look. You know, he actually, he came from England, and he moved to America. I believe that was in like 8th grade or 7th grade. And then by the time he was into the rock thing, he had already changed his look. You know, I believe he started dressing in all black, and he did the whole thing. So he was really serious. You know, he got rid of his old identity. He got rid of the old attachment and became a new person. And to this day, I actually just got off the phone with him, and I told him what I was going to say about him, and we talked about it. He said we confirmed some details about exactly what I should say, and I hope I'm getting it right. But yeah, so 18 months later, he was touring worldwide with Warbringer. You know, a really, really popular band. If you YouTube them, you know, he's in the videos and stuff, and you know, he did some big things with them. So I just spoke to him again recently, and even though he's not with them, he's still working just as hard. You know, he's having a situation, and he chose the less comfortable route. Instead of going with more certainty of where he's living in less comfortable circumstances in order to meet his goals. He said he could either work on the band or he could take care of personal obligations. And he went with the band. He went with his dream. He did what he had to do. He's not attached to things. And that's what you need to be. You know, that movie Fight Club, very, very similar in that mentality. Although artistic and symbolic, not exactly a perfect representation of what we're going for. Fight Club was the first movie to bring that to mainstream consciousness. You know, it merged the self-actualized world with the world of, mainstream movies. So, if you're familiar at all with that movie, it's basically about Edward Norton's character, who begins the movie as a guy who he lives his life as a leaf in the wind. You know, he's blown by, society's pressures and whatnot. He has a job, he has his nice suits, he's totally unhappy, totally unfulfilled. And then eventually he creates a split in his persona. The beginning part of the movie quite literally gives a visual example of what is to come. His apartment explodes along with all of his personal belongings and clothing. So, detachment, material, detachment, ego. He then creates a alternate persona, Tyler Durden, as played by Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt goes about his role in the movie. He goes about his role in the movie by sort of helping Edward Norton adopt a really, guttural type drive towards his needs. And he winds up fighting in a fight club. He winds up it's kind of a crazy movie, but he does what he wants. And he goes after stuff. And that's the same way that you need to be. That's like, my friend Ben Bennett, he didn't care. There were haters, there were family, whatever. It didn't matter. Haters, family, gear, whatever. Money, it didn't matter. He did what he had to do, and he kept his goal first. And he stayed uncomfortable while he grew. I'm going to be actually hooking up with Ben a little bit later to do an interview on these type of topics and self-actualization, so he can give us his perspective, because he's already gotten success. He's already gotten results from this at a young age. So, to give you guys something more concrete, to see that, okay, if I walk this path, it'll pay dividends, and it can happen at a young age. Well, I want to show you that. So, Ben is a young guy, one of my best friends, and he'll be able to speak on that a little later, and his journey with it. But ultimately, for you, the viewer, what this means is that if you don't like your band and you haven't been proactive, quit it. If you don't like your house, move. If you don't approve of your lifestyle, change it. If you don't like how you dress, if you don't like how you feel, if you don't like how your playing sounds, change it. And even if you do like it, what else is there? Get uncomfortable. Go out and see somebody that's really good, that's your same age, that's been playing for less time than you. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Go out and hang out with guys who have been playing for a year and are prodigies, so-called prodigies, but really they just spend a lot of time practicing and they're killing it. And then there's you who's been playing for 10 years and you can't play like that. So, I want you to get disturbed, and I want you to start becoming uncomfortable. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you can